Lesson 11. Evacuation. The evacuation process on the Titanic was challenging due to several factors, including the limited number of lifeboats and the belief that the ship was unsinkable. After the Titanic struck the iceberg, it took some time for the severity of the situation to become apparent. Initially, there was confusion and disbelief among passengers and crew members. Captain Edward Smith ordered the lifeboats be prepared for evacuation. However, the Titanic was only equipped with 20 lifeboats, which could accommodate around 1,178 people, significantly fewer than the total number of passengers and crew on board. The loading of the lifeboats was initially slow and disorganised. Some lifeboats were launched with fewer passengers than their maximum capacity due to the belief that the ship was unsinkable and that rescue could be quick. This resulted in many lifeboats being launched only partially filled. The principle of women and children first was followed during the evacuation process. Women and children were given priority to board the lifeboats. However, the implementation of this principle varied, and there were instances where men were allowed to board the lifeboats. There was a lack of clear communication and direction during the evacuation process. Many passengers were unaware of the severity of the situation, and there was confusion about where to go and what to do. The crew played a crucial role in assisting with the evacuation. They worked to lower the lifeboats and ensure the safety of the passengers. However, there were instances where some lifeboats were launched with insufficient crew members to navigate them effectively. As the evacuation progressed, it became evident that there was not enough lifeboats to accommodate everyone on board. This led to desperate scenes as people tried to find a place in the limited number of available lifeboats. As the ship started to sink more rapidly, panic and chaos ensued. Many passengers were unable to secure a place in the lifeboats, faced the grim reality of the sinking ship. Some jumped into the icy waters in an attempt to survive. The RMS Carpathia responded to the Titanic's distress calls, arrived at the scene and began rescuing survivors from the lifeboats. The rescue operation continued until all the survivors were safely on board the Carpathia. The Titanic had 16 wooden lifeboats which were distributed along the deck. Each wooden lifeboat had a capacity ranging from 65 to 68 people. These lifeboats were primarily located on the boat deck and the forward and aft ends of the ship. In addition to the wooden lifeboats, the Titanic also had 4 collapsible lifeboats. These collapsible lifeboats were made of canvas-covered wooden frames and were stored on the roof of the officers' quarters. They could be assembled and launched when needed. The total capacity of all the lifeboats on the Titanic was around 1,178 people. However, considering the total number of passengers and crew on board the ship, around 2,208, the number of lifeboats was clearly insufficient. The regulations at the time only required enough lifeboat capacity for a fraction of the total number of passengers. This, combined with the aesthetic considerations of not cluttering the deck with too many lifeboats, led to the shortage. The lifeboats were lowered into the water using davits, which were cranes specifically designed for this purpose. The process of loading and launching the lifeboats was challenging and time-consuming, leading to delays in the evacuation. The limited number of lifeboats on the Titanic contributed to the loss of many lives during the sinking. The disaster led to significant changes in maritime safety regulations, mandating significant lifeboat capacity for all passengers and crew on board.